Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to How to RPG. This is Fred Weller and we are talking about monsters. And before you see Kobold Press's Tome of Beasts 2, a very good book. I wouldn't say it the best in the series, but it's a decent book. And then Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, which has got all sorts of things, but about half the book is just full of really cool monsters. Okay, so this is where I talk about monster lore, and I have prepared a little look at the Harpy for today. And I'm going to put up a poll in a second, so you have an opportunity to respond to that. And I'm hoping that you enjoy this. We will be doing a workshop after my presentation, like I always do. Okay? All right, so my suggestion is grab yourself some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable. We're going to be going into this pretty shortly, like right about now, okay? I just need to unplug myself and I'm ready to go. Now, for those of you who are wondering what's going on today, there's a little surprise. I had a little surprise, so you probably want to hang around for the end of this because it should be good. It should be good. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Anyway, let's get the show on the road, shall we? I think we're just about ready to go. Okay. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about monsters for your role-playing games. And this is where we go into monster lore, and the topic for today is in fact not the monster disco ball. It's not the topic. No, the Harpy. Surprisingly, I feel like the Harpy has been given the big shaft at times, and so this was actually very difficult for me to put together. So I've taken everything in terms of the lore and what you know of in terms of Dungeons and Dragons sort of appropriated information, and I've given you, this is very different to what you might expect. So the name Harpy means snatchers or swift robbers, and Harpies are spirits of the wind, air, or storms that carry people away. The Harpy is actually a personification of destructive wind and the sort of force that it has, and the fact that people sort of disappear when there are storms. A Harpy could be mistaken for a type of ghost also. From the lore that I saw in mythology, certainly the differentiation between ghost and Harpy, particularly after a storm, is hard to sort of define. All Harpies are servants of the gods that punish people for their crimes in the mythology that I had looked at. And Harpies mostly they were referred to as the furies of the deities, or they were the deities of vengeance. So in a sense, they were potentially servants, but also possibly deities of a type themselves. Harpies would abduct people at the command of the gods, and this was usually the Greek gods, and then take them to Tartarus, which is sort of the underworld, or hell, or the afterlife, or to the Urnies, which were the old crones that have like one eye that they share amongst them, and they're mostly blind. And the Urnies were quite nasty to deal with. They dealt with the fates. Typically, Harpies abducted only evil or wicked creatures or humanoids or people. Sometimes the Harpy were messengers, and other times they exacted judgment, like Judge Dredd. There are two types of Harpies that I could find. There is the beautiful and the ugly. And so I'm going to cover just briefly the beautiful and the ugly. The earliest Harpies that I can see were fabulous, fair-haired or blonde, pretty winged maidens that punished the wicked. That was the sort of the reference that I could find. And these Harpies were quite attractive, and they would fly as fast as the wind. So you can see how the wind and Harpies comes together. Then there is the one that a lot of people identify with the most, and the one that Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games and a lot of Greek mythology does sort of focus on. There's probably more information on this, and that is the ugly Harpy. Okay, while a second Harpy type, the ugly or disgusting hybrid of a bird hag, essentially, that delights in torturing the living. So that's sort of the description. So this would be like a cursed female human or humanoid who has sort of a half bird creature thing going on. And I would definitely just describe them easily as the ugly harpy, and to sort of distinguish them from the fact that the very earliest ones were actually not that at all. So it's kind of unusual how things develop over time. A foul odour surrounds the ugly harpy and anything that they touch, and this is because they don't bathe. The dress of an ugly harpy, if anything, that's if they were to wear anything, is limited often to just tattered rags and shiny trinkets taken from their previous victims that they would hang off themselves or use as jewellery of some kind. The language of the ugly harpy is a horrible collection of cackles and shrieks. You kind of get in the idea. It's the witch, basically. Commonly, harpies are described as thieving, conniving, wretched, vicious, violent, and vindictive creatures. So they get all of the horrible words. Now, the biology of the harpy is really hard to nail down. I've done my best to sort of pull things together, and this is what I have. The biology of the harpy can vary widely, even with it being a hybrid bird-woman. Okay? So there's so many different types. Sometimes the harpy has attributes of the eagle or the vulture or some other type of bird. Depending on the harpy breed, it might have talons, claws, a beak, bird legs, human hands, or even human feet. What tends to be the same is the harpy's extremely large and powerful wings that allow them to soar for hours without actually flapping their wings like a condor. And if you have any understanding of what a condor is essentially a type of vulture. And because it has such a large wingspan, it has to ensure it doesn't flap its wings too much because it needs to stay aloft for a long time. And so the harpy has wings very similar to that. Harpy eggs are white with a brown freckle that is about the size of a football. So an American football would be a good example of this, which is a little bit smaller than your New Zealand rugby ball. Surprisingly, the harpy is a hermaphrodite, so it has both male and female reproductive organs. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, that's interesting. Well, you're probably wondering why it always seems to be referred to as only a woman and there's no man. It's because it's a hermaphrodite. Very little scientific information is known about the biology of a harpy. And I know I'm tongue-in-cheek here, but I'm going to put it out there. That's all I could really come up with. Okay, combat for the harpy. The song of the harpy has the ability to charm all humans and demi-humans or humanoids who hear it. This charm will last as long as the harpy continues to sing. Harpies can sing even while they are engaged in battle, and harpies use their song to lure evil travelers to their doom. I know the reference has always been sort of they are kind of like a siren and so they can lure anybody, but I have noticed that the harpies, they're very much about punishing the wicked. The effect of the charm is broken if you slay the harpy. So if the harpy dies, the effect on you is gone. It is possible, or should I say, it is impossible to fend off the harpy song simply by clasping your hands over your ears because the charm takes effect the moment the first note is heard. So unless you have your hands already over, you've prepared and put your hands over your ears, and it's completely sealed off all sound, you're still going to be affected. So characters who make prior preparations to block out the sound and use, say, wax and cloth together and seal it up so no sound gets through at all are immune to the effect of the harpy song. But if you don't have an approach, just putting on earmuffs would not do the job. You need to block off the sound completely. If forced to fight, the harpies can do so quite effectively by delivering vicious bites and raking simultaneously with their talons if they have them. About half of all harpy combat encounters will have a harpy wielding a weapon of some kind. Often the reference is towards a bone of one of its victims, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can be something else. It's not like all harpies are stupid and have no idea how to use weapons. The habitat and society of the harpy. Harpies make their home upon the coastlines and regions near a shipping lane quite often, and by well-travelled pathways. Harpies are also known to nest in the cliff face of Mount Olympus, if you look back at Greek mythology. The lair of a harpy is usually a shallow cave in a cliff face, but not always. Harpies often carry living animals back to their lair because they're quite strong and devour them in a more familiar surrounding, but also to take it back for their young. Now, there is a lot of discussion around the fact that harpies don't look after the young and just leave them to fend for themselves. Really, nobody knows, because nobody's going to survive hanging around in a harpy lair. Okay, it's not like you've got botanists hanging out there with a pencil and a piece of paper, and it doesn't work that way. Okay, anyway, harpies have very little use for treasure, other than sort of it being a shiny bauble, which often they attach to their clothes, as I said. Other items such as gold and weapons are frequently interceded amongst the filth and bones that litter the harpies, I guess, I wouldn't say larder, but rubbish dump. A typical harpy lair houses about half a dozen of these creatures, although there can be more, but it's roughly about that. There are no male harpies. They've never been seen. So if they have never been seen, they probably don't exist. And this is because harpies can reproduce at will by laying a single egg every other year, and as I said, they're a hermaphrodite, so they actually don't need to reproduce with a male species. So they just reproduce with themselves. Harpies are assumed not to care for their young, but this is actually a false rumour. The social structure of the harpy is a collection of what I could tell to be contradicting stories that indicate nothing definitive, although it doesn't sound good. Although there are instances of harpies which could speak the language of another creature or species, these seem to be few and far between, so it doesn't seem to happen very often. Now, the ecology of your harpy. Harpies hunt all manner of beasts, remaining in an area for as long as the food supply will last. The harpy are despised and greatly feared by all creatures, particularly those that are weaker than themselves, and surprisingly, the harpy is quite strong, even for a bird-like woman creature. Harpies have a voracious appetite, devouring all manner of man and beast, given the opportunity. So, slain victims which harpies do not eat are simply sort of left to rot, which is not unusual. I mean, most animals do this. You know, they don't just sort of bury them. They just leave them to rot. Humans do this. The lifespan of a harpy is unknown. I did see some reference to 50 years, but if you look at the original harpies, they were demigods or demi-humans, and they came from the birth of gods in many respects. Although trying to nail down which Greek gods were involved, there's multiple stories going on here. So I'm not going to put forward all those different stories. I think it's pretty clear, though, that the lifespan of a harpy is very difficult to determine. Okay, how to incorporate a harpy in your adventuring in the adventure you're creating for your role-playing game. This is where we're really working up to. Now, a lot of these ideas, some of them are mine, but not the vast majority. Many of these ideas come from the Game Master Roundtable and the panel who discussed this not that long ago. So, stealing a harpy egg to sell to a broker, say who deals in rare or exotic creatures, would be a fun way to incorporate it into an adventure. The original harpy might be just one harpy. Often you see the lore and the mythology of Greece, and Greek mythology usually has one of everything. Rather than there being multiples, okay, there's just one. So the original harpy might have cloned themselves and is immortal, and that is why you can now see so many of them. It's actually exactly the same harpy, but there are multiple clones of that same harpy. And of course, over time, they develop new experiences and different personalities. You could have a bard harpy make a living in a nightclub, collecting tips by singing rock and pop music. You could even have a blues musician harpy who plays a harmonica, which I think would be quite amusing. Now, if you could go all Milli Vanilli on, is it Milli Vanilli? I think it's, I don't know. I can't remember it. I think it was Milli Vanilli who did this. You could have a lip-syncing rock star harpy who can't sing a note, but everybody assumes the harpy can sing well because, of course, apparently the harpy song is entrancing and can hypnotize you and charm you. But this harpy doesn't have any of those skills. You could have a harpy farm where you harvest eggs for a special market that sells them on by collecting the eggs from a barn. And unfortunately, this would be extremely dangerous as an activity or a job, as the harpies would devour the labor force that would collect the eggs. That would be quite an entertaining thing to do, is giving your player characters the job of harvesting from the barn the harpy eggs while the harpies are perched above waiting to eat them. People collecting harpy feathers would probably be doing this for spell components, so maybe that's something you can tie into your adventure. And then you could sell purple magic mushrooms that have sort of a mind-altering effect in a nightclub. And of course, to get them in there to buy that particular drug, you get a harpy as a diva to actually sing songs and draw them in. And then, of course, I mean, that's what you do in a nightclub, right? It's music, dancing, and drugs, right? That's what we were sort of working towards ultimately with that idea. And the next idea is a death metal harpy rock band who uses their magic to attract, or the magic of their song, to attract demons and devils to the audience. And so it's not so much the harpies that are the problem, who are thrashing it out as a rock band, a heavy metal or death metal rock band. It's actually the demons and devils that are causing the strife by trying to influence the audience, who are made up of, say, humans and other races or species. Then you can also have a harpy that has absolutely no voice. They lost their voice for whatever reason and is now mute, and the only way they can communicate is in sign language. And I know that sounds really strange, but I still thought it was quite entertaining, and I was going to throw it in here. And I have to say a big thank you to Mark, Gonzo, I believe also Josiah, Wally, and AJ Pickett, and I believe also Dennis. Big thank you, both of you, for all of you. It was some great ideas. Now, how do you go about defeating a harpy? It's always recommended not to kill a harpy because you never know which god or goddess they serve, and they are the deity's servants, and deities protect their servants. So you're going to just annoy or piss off your deities in your world by killing harpies, more than likely. I would suggest a capture and release policy is the best approach when dealing for harpies, much like the John Wick continental policy. You capture and release rather than kill. Because the harpy can fly, some sort of long-range weapon needs to be employed to be effective in terms of actually getting at them, because they're not going to be on the ground, they will be flying around. And if we want to go back to Jason and the Argonauts, I would say setting a trap with a net with an evil mortal as bait is probably the best way to capture a harpy in any way. Having the net drop down from above and using somebody who's got an evil intentions, leaving them exposed to the harpy would probably be the easiest way to capture them. Now, the origins of the harpy. As I have said, it's quite complicated and there's a lot going on here, so I wanted to sort of pull in all of the different ideas that have been presented and give you a better idea of what's going on here. So the origins of the harpy. There were originally two harpies described by Hesiod. I think it's Hesiod. And that is Allo, who is got another name called Storm Swift. So Allo, also called Storm Swift, and then there's Okapete, who is called Swift Wing. So there's only two that I know of that were the original, and the original were not ugly. They weren't like the typical harpy that we were kind of brought up on. Jason and the Argonauts drove the harpies away from a blind king, Phineas, who was punished by never being able to eat or satisfy his hunger in a banquet. This is because Phineas had been given the power of foresight and had sort of used it in a way that Zeus did not agree with, and Zeus's decision was to punish him by having the harpies steal his food and give him so much trouble, and he plonked him on an island, but Jason and the Argonauts did rescue him. So Zeus's Furies, or harpies, punished and tortured mortal humans for angering the Olympian god. This is probably the fundamental thing with a harpy, that you go back and you look at how they work. This is the one that stands out as being the most important aspect of them. Now, you don't necessarily need to use Zeus, but I think it's probably the best way to consider the harpy. It makes them far more interesting rather than just an evil creature that looks like a woman that has wings. Arnius. Now, Arnius encountered harpies on the island of Strophads, I think it's Strophads, who repeatedly stole the Trojans' feasts. So this is another sort of Greek piece of mythology that's been passed down. And then harpies were also called the hounds of mighty Zeus. So you can see they were definitely servants of the mighty god, okay, Zeus. And they were also referred to as ministers of the thundered. Okay, and so each one of these sort of represent the fact that they were very much a servant in some way to Zeus. But there's another reference that Hades also used the harpies as guardians of the gates to the underworld, or Tartarus. And this is why they would sometimes take evil humans and drag them back to Tartarus to face their sentence. And so that is pretty much everything I could find. It's actually very difficult to condense the harpy into something that's coherent without sort of clashing with a lot of other things. I'm hoping you found this useful, and if you did, great. I want to thank all of my patrons who allow me to do this every single week, and you for watching. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. All right, give me a second, and I will. I can feel my voice is already disappearing. Okay. So this was one of the more difficult topics to cover. Of all the topics I could cover, I would say this is one of the hardest ones, the harpy. For those of you who are wondering, yes, I do have a recorded version which I will release at some point. I don't know when. So let's have a look at chat, and then oh, by the way, all of the information that I've just talked about, the written documentation will go up onto Patreon. For those of you who were waiting last week for the Patreon documents to go up, I have a backlog. There were so many last week, and I just ran out of time. I wanted to go to the movies and go and see Fury of the Gods, which is Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. So I went and saw that movie, and of course by doing that I didn't have time to do all the Patreon stuff. I'll try very hard this week to get as much as I can up, but there's so much right now. It's really hard to keep it going. I might have to catch up when I go on holiday in about a month, which means there'll be buckloads of stuff coming. Anyway, so yes, don't fret, it will be coming. So let's have a look at the poll. Actually, we'll come back to the poll a little bit later. Let's have a look at chat. So we've got here To Be. Hello, To Be. How are you? Noroak. Hi, Noroak. Noroak is a patron and supports me on Patreon. Prepare, Cook and Survive. Hello, how are you doing? Fred Hubber is here. How's it going, Fred? You can only stay briefly. That's fine. It was Milli Vanilli. Okay, I thought it was Milli Vanilli. What would you all name a harpy death metal band? That's a good question. I'm not too sure. I was thinking we've just bought one from the existing world. Iron Maiden sounds like it would work. um, I mean, the actual Iron Maiden, it kind of makes a lot of sense. Iron Maiden. Fred, what do you got here? Then there's the outcast harpy that is not the next definition of ugly or evil and evil. So the outcast harpy, yeah, well, I don't know if you would say that. I don't know that we necessarily had outcast harpy. I don't see any references to outcast harpy, but you could certainly create one. Rooksa Zero, hello, how are you? Now, Rooksa Zero is has got a YouTube channel. He does a lot of drawing for characters and monsters and other things. So, yeah, you should go and check him out at some point. How's it going, Nicholas? Woo, Harpy and Strax Pathfinder are awesome. Should they have hands though? I saw references to many different ways that they were depicted so many different ways. So I don't know that there needs to be a hard fast. They have to be one way. Even if you look at the original two harpies, what they looked like was hard to define. I don't think there's anything definitive that was put down in any kind of artwork that sort of represented exactly what they were like. So it's not that clear cut. Birds of a Feather, Harpy death metal band. All right, Birds of a Feather. Yes, I suppose you could do that. Why not? Birds of a Feather. What do you got here? Prepare, Cook and Survive. Hello, Prepare, Cook and Survive. How you doing? Harpy band equals torment from above. Maybe. Hello, Spirit Wolf. How are you? Prepare, Cook and Survive again, saying hello. Now, I had a package arrive, people. So if you want me to produce, do you want me to open the package? I just went down to the post shop today and picked it up. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I've got a monster book coming. There's dice supposed to be delivered to me. There's the Pathfinder stuff. Is there other things still coming? I can't remember. I think we're starting to get to the end of the package deliveries, hopefully, for this part of the year. I'm still waiting on some things that have been taken forever to arrive. So, yeah. So it's a big package. So you just need to let me know. I mean, there's not too many of you here, but there's a few of you here who are patrons. So there's a big package here. I could open that if you wanted me to. We will be going into the workshop section of this live stream very, very shortly. Okay. Alluring Fate is the name I thought of. Oh, okay. Nice. Cerebus, I thought. I see. You're going with the dog-like creature, the three-headed. Cerebus was it a three-headed dog or was it a chimera? I think AJ was referring to saying that the original was actually more like a chimera rather than having dog heads, which is kind of interesting. Although Alluring Fate sounds more like a heavy metal band rather than a death metal band. Screeching Shades. I don't think it's I suppose it's not quite hardcore enough, is it? If you're talking about a death metal band, you can still have a heavy metal band. There's nothing wrong with heavy metal, right? I don't actually listen to a lot of heavy metal, by the way, people. But I always love the artwork on the albums. The Ill-Fated Flock. The Nipple Rippers? Oh, you got to be kidding. I know. Three-headed dog, I thought. Yes, well, I did too. But AJ was actually pointing out it might have been the three-headed chimera that was actually the guardian of Tartarus. Chicken Tenders, Harpy Metal Band. Ill-Fated is still good. Okay, all right. Let me just have a look at this poll. Is going to be quite small. So have you used the Harpy in a role-playing game? Yes, 55%. No, 36%. Interesting. Not sure, 9%. Okay, all right. So there's a couple of people who don't quite remember. I know how that feels. Okay, so I'm going to end this poll. And I'm going to start a new poll, and then we're going to get on to our work. Okay. Do I open the package? Do I open the package? And we'll put yes. No. Undecided. Undecided. That'll cause problems. And don't care. I mean, I'm sorry. It's pretty funny. Do I open the package? I don't care. All right. Let me get myself organized. We've been working on monster tables. We are very, very close to completing the traits for monsters. And I definitely need to ditch this. Make this go over here. So let's open that. Oh, come on. Up, down, across. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Press the button. Okay. All right. Own or open package. Hello, Richard. How are you doing? Own or open package. Did I say something else? Did I put down something weird? What did I write in my poll? Did I write something stupid? Own. Oh, good Lord. You really? Fred? End poll. It's open. I couldn't even type it in. Roll for perception. Okay, let's end this. This is silly. End poll. Do I open the package? I'm going to leave it to sit there for a little while, people. Yes. Do I open the package? Yes. No. Undecided. Oh, maybe that would have helped. Don't care. Okay. Do I open the package? Okay, so I've written it down correctly this time. Let's try this a second time round. Yeah. It happens. Sometimes one makes mistakes. And that was definitely a mistake on my part. Okay, so next, back to work screen. And I will open the package at the top of the hour if there's enough people who want me to do it. But let's get some work done, because that's what today's all about. It's a work day. Work days mean we have to get stuff done, and it's time to get this nailed down. Yeah? Right, so that's big enough. Looks like it is. Transition over. Yeah, there we go. So we've been working on traits and monster powers. We're very close to finishing up the monster traits, which is very good news, because I'm glad. I've got it all in alphabetical order. I'm going to open this door because I can't take it anymore. It's a bit too hot. Okay, right. You might hear some background noise like cicadas, people mowing lawns, little children yipping and yapping, stuff like that. It's all good. Nothing bad is happening. Hat goes off. Okay, I'm feeling much better now. Whew. If I ever send you a package, I have to put a very loud ticket clock in it. Ticking clock in it. Afternoon. Hello, Nacho Man. How are you? Nacho Man is also a patron. do you got here, 2B? To make sure it's not from Ted. Ted Kowalski. Yeah, it could be. You mean Mike? Mike Kowalski? Cursed Chorus. Wolf Perception. Afternoon. All right. Water. Lozenge, because I'm losing my voice. Eyes on. And to work we go. Okay, so there is a bunch of these, all in alphabetical order. We're going to try to smash out the traits, and then there's a lot more work to be done in the powers, because what I've discovered is a lot of the things we thought were powers were actually winding up being traits. So I had to adjust things a little bit, as you may have noticed. Okay, so we've got a few. So this is something you could. What's a trait capable of deep sea living? Cold, pressure, dark, aquatic. There's too much going on there, isn't there? When I feel like it's a trait for deep sea living, but what the heck would you call it? Hashtag what is a trait name for deep sea living? I'm actually not too sure what to do with that. It doesn't look like it would be easy. Trauma resistance. What is that? Now you've got me interested. Now I don't know what that is at all. Trauma resistance. Moist life. Oh God. Here we go. It's already started. Trauma resistance. Resistance. It exists. What the heck is this? Define it for me. What type of damage is trauma? Pressure resistance. Official. What? Oh, I see. Aren't you a clever one to be? Well, that helps in no way. Trauma is physical damage to body tissues caused by a difference in pressure between. Okay. Trauma resistance. That's a fancy one. Let's put it down. Pressure resistance is one thing, but trauma is like that's it, isn't it? Barotrauma. Where are we? Trauma resistance. That's it. And we just unhighlight it. It's B, so it needs to go somewhere else. Cut. Put it in the B section. Yes, those of you who are wondering, will this go on to Patreon? Of course it will. When it's done, and I'm satisfied that it's all finished, it will. Paste. Okay, not quite exactly in alphabetical, but it's close enough. Okay, that's good. So we got that one done. Nice. Well, that leaves us with 6 or 7 left to go. What do you got here? Look and see what it says about sea elves and mer people. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. We could say sea bros for short. Okay, all right. What you bring a fish up deeper, 32 feet, there's a chance they die from Brotrum. Oh, I see. Oh, interesting, Scott. Hello, Scott. How are you? I just noticed you now. And that is a kettle boiling, for those of you who are wondering. That is not a siren. What do you got here? All right, so what is a new monster trait? Not a power. A power is something you activate with your action. A trait doesn't activate that way. I'll let you throw some ideas together while I peruse monster books and try to come up with something that we can use. Hang on. What about the Minotaur? What about the Minotaur? Isn't the Minotaur's got that thing? And what's the other thing? What is it? It's 5e's got a thing called Siege Monster, isn't it? We could use those as well, couldn't we? How are you doing, Scott? Super intelligent, may be capable of making traps, tools, advanced weapons. Oh, I see. All right. So let me do this. Labyrinth memory. The creature recalls any route it travels. So we'll take that. That's an L. Cut. L. Where's L go? Here. Paste. And adorable. Its appearance disarms, calms humanoids that see it. Adorable. Do we have adorable? We don't. Norok. I say adorable is on the cards here. Let's do the let's do this. And I'm just scaring away people now because they're thinking, oh, he's just messing around. I am kind of here. Adorable. Creature appearance. Comes. Words that see it. Oh, that's so funny. Adorable. Ultimate stamina. Yeah, but what would that be, Richard? You got to give me more. That's just a tag name. I don't know what to do with it. Just think of all these stupid people who have picked up blue-spotted octopus without knowing how poisonous it is. All right, okay. Just because it's cute. Yes. Hello, Buried Axe. How are you doing? How's it going, Buried Axe Blade? Took dog to the store. When you start? I started about half an hour ago. 45 minutes ago. Yeah, well, mostly. 2 shopkeepers? I'm not sure. What are we talking about? I'm lost. You got me completely confused. Anyway, Now, S, 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 SI. Here we go. This is what we want. The monster is so large that it causes extra damage. I'm not going to say double, just extra. Could be a lot more than double to structures. Okay. Oh, it's getting close. We're getting there. Movement speed in a chase never depletes. Oh, I see. I'm not sure how to write that in a way that it's going to work. I'm okay. Right. So let me write this down, and then I'll come back to it because I'm not too sure how to make this work. You've written down here unlimited stamina. Oh, I think unlimited I think you're onto something, but what I'm going to do here with Richard is I'm going to do something else. I like this idea. The creature never gets tired, fatigued, or exhausted. Now that is a pretty powerful ability. RSTU. Let's do that. I mean, that's pretty rough, but let's do it anyway. Good idea, Richard. Nicely done. We got it down. Oh, look at those numbers. We're so close to the 100 mark. What else we got here? IRL is confusing. I'm not too sure. We are making monster traits and special powers. Right now I'm trying to focus on the monster traits. Monster traits always in effect. They don't require an action. They just always work. Okay, they're not tied to using an action in a role-playing game. Whereas the special powers would be tied to an action. We have less than 10 minutes before I check to see if we're opening the package, people, which is sitting beside me. Okay. What are we doing? Bioelectricity, capable of generating an electric current through its body. To be, that's actually quite nice. I wonder if we have something like that already. I feel like that's the sort of thing. Would it be a power or would it be a trait? Would it be a power or a trait? I think we could say it has always got electricity whizzing through it, and then it would be a trait. Do we have one called electrical? We do not have one. Bioelectricity. Do we have a bioelectricity sort of thing going on here? I don't think we do. So what's it going to be called? It's going to be called bioelectricity. Okay. By my own. Okay, so let's just drop it from the straight directly. It's going to get a bit funny, the stream, if I do it this way, but I'll do it anyway. So I can just grab it faster. Copy and straight over to traits. Get rid of the formatting. Bioelectricity. the monster is capable of no, the monster get rid of this, generates an electrical current through its body. So that means touching it is a bad idea, electrical discharge. So it's like your electrical eel. Now I think the electrical eel has some control of its electrical charge, but this one it's always electrically charged. So that's horribly problematic for anybody. Let's get real. It is going to cause a lot of trouble. Oh, so close. We're so close. What do you got here? Traits. We're going with traits. I'll do the abilities and powers later. So a trait as in it's always in effect. It's always on. Reckless. It does whatever it wants without fear of consequence. Alternative name, honey badger. Oh, good lord. +1 honey badger. No. Leave it alone. You always go back down this honey badger route, people. I noticed this. Biomagnetic as a trait. I think we have magnetic already. Youthful. Can pretend you don't understand when you are a leader of the pack. Entropic interior for toothy. Oh, I see. I see what you... So Richard, you spotted the one that I've highlighted. Yes, the highlighted ones are not finished. Entropic euphoria. Electrified. We've got bioelectricity now. It's done. Electrified would be probably another one of going about it. Electrified. I suppose we could just call it electrified. Bioelectricity or electrified. Electrified is probably a better way of going about it, just because it'll be easier to find. So yeah, fair enough. So then I've got to shift its position. Cut it and E. And we'll put it here. There it is. Electrified. Now, Richard was on a route with this toothy, and I just need to understand what he's trying to communicate here. So let's go with entropic eruption. What would that be? Oh, good lord, is it actually a thing? Okay. What does that mean? Is it just in which the tooth does not follow its usual course? Oh. Okay. All right. Now I think okay. I understand what you're trying to do here now. So copy, and we'll go back here. Instead of toothy, we're going to go with this. Get rid of that, and then we'll go here. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, it is. It's spelled wrong. Okay. Entropic eruption. So that's an E. We have to do a little bit more of this. The creature, several layers of teeth that saw through anything. Okay. As in anything, as in saw. Cut through anything. So the idea being that we can now chew through armor fairly effectively. Yep. Does that sound relatively unfair? Adventurers go exploring with plate armor and doesn't help. Stick it in the E section. echolocation. It can go about here. There we go. That did all right. Where are we now? Rotting. I think we've already got rotting somewhere. We had a lot of discussions about rotting the other day. Yeah, rot. We've got rot. Electrified. What do you got here? Buried axe. You've got here Zurich. Desert trait. Within 5 feet, any encounter with something less than huge exhales moisture, inhales dry air, slowly suffocating, undead immune. I am so lost, Beard Axe, what you're trying to communicate there. Oh, that's yeah, okay. This is a lot to deal with. We've got something. We've got acid stuff coming out our ears, people. We don't need any more of that. Let me just go and see what Buried Axe is trying to get at here. Exeric. What is exeric? Is it got? Oh, it does have a meaning. Oh, okay. Exeric, of an environment or habitat containing little moisture, very dry. Let's do. We don't have. Do we have anything that sucks moisture out of the ear? That would be very dry. What about this? I don't know how you feel about what I'm doing here, Buried Axe, but I like what you're going with this. Let's go with exeric absorption. Is that it? Exeric absorption. Oh, absorption. There we go. The monster absorbs moisture from nearby plants and animals. Creatures. How's that? That's pretty horrible. I think that would work. Cowardly is always serves as flees from. Is that not really a trait? That's just something we can do with. Yeah. Right on. Thanks. No, Bearded Axe. It's actually a really good idea. It reminds me of Life Force and the vampires that used to suck life out of people, but they looked like husks at the end, and it's almost as if they were sucking moisture out of them, right? So that's where I guess I thought you were kind of trying to go. That's probably a cleaner way of saying exactly what you wanted to say, which is awesome. I'm really, really happy about that. That's good news. So let's go through. So we have 100 now. Let's go through. It's almost 2 minutes and we open the package, people. 2 minutes and we open the package. If there's enough of you who said open the package, I'll open the package. But let's have a look at some of these that we have already. Reverse healing damage. The creature is injured by healing magic. Okay, that's a really weird one. Unemotional. I don't think we need anything more. I think what we need to do. See noxious odor. Pungent. The creature always stinks, causing vomiting and nausea. We've also got noxious, which is supposed to be very similar, which causes waves of noxious gases to irritate the senses of creatures nearby. All right, so there's a repeat there. All right, we'll leave that for now. +1 for Fred, and the next game, inspiration. 1 minute, and I check the poll on the package. All right, multiple hearts sucks. I'm going to say it. I don't know what to do with that. I have no idea how I make that work. It's not really that interesting. I just don't think it can do very much with it. So yeah. Did we? No. I don't know if we did. Slimer squeeze. S. No. Okay, it's check the poll time. Let's see what you guys said about the package. Okay. Hoofing it over to YouTube so I can check this thing. Oh look, it's not a clear-cut case about the package, but it looks like there's just enough. Yes, no, undecided. We're going to end the poll here with 12 votes. Okay, end in the poll. The poll is ended. All right, so it's top of the hour, and I should pus-filled tumours. Good Lord, you guys are gruesome. Okay. All right, so I think what we'll do is I will step out for a moment, yeah, I will of course be back. Let me see if I can find this thing. Can I find it? The package doesn't fit quite in the space that I've provided, but it's gonna have to, it'll be close. Okay. I think somebody keeps saying I've got to stop showing my address, which I suppose I could do. Do I have a pen close by that will allow me to cross out my name? Is it my name or my address? Hang on, where's a pen? Grab a pen. There we go. Probably should be black pen, shouldn't it? Black. Oh, there we go. Black and some scissors. Okay, all right. Black pen. Where is it? You all know where I live now anyway. It's not going to make much of a difference. The only one I won't cross out is New Zealand. How's that sound? It should be obvious I live in New Zealand by now. I don't really know who sent me this to, by the way, for those of you who are unaware. Here we go, shifting over. Here's the package. It looks like we're opening it. We will be opening the package, and then I will go and take a break. Okay, how's that sound? Right, 64, multiple hearts, dinosaurs with multiple brains, chop off head, grows new, piercing. I see. You could do something like that. Gem tears. Why? What's with the gem tears? Redundant cast of cardiovascular system gives creature either hit points or a undying feature. Oh, I see. I guess regenerating field. All my pencils will end up in the kitchen table or a bowl. Well, okay. So this side here, it was mostly open already. Let's try to get that out of the way. Now it's open this bit. Okay, let's get this open. Let's get this open. And sear it down the... Okay, come on. It's in a hard pot. What is this? What is going on here? Opening the package. Just some bubble stuff. Huh? Okay. Well, that's interesting. This looks like it's Pathfinder. Oh. Okay. One book just arrived, people. And it looks to me like it is the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide. Yeah, second ed edition. Well, I don't have the core book, but I do have the Game Master Guide for Pathfinder second ed edition, people. It's now before you. It looks like a very nice book. It looks reasonably well constructed. Okay, all right. Well, now you know what's in the box. So I guess at some point I have to do a review on this little sucker. Okay, that'll obviously be something that'll be coming up in the future. I don't know exactly when. We'll see. I know that doing stuff on Pathfinder is probably better for a channel in terms of viewership, but right now it's not much point talking about something if I don't have the core book. So I'm probably going to keep going with what I'm doing for now, but let me go and take a quick break, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. I will give you a task, and that is hashtag what is a good monster power with a tag name. That'll just keep you busy. You have to think about that. 5 minutes or less, I'll be back. And you can look out, and Arnold will look after you. How's that? Okay, coming back in. Right. So I believe this book came to me. I think who sent this book is Agile Monk, who's a patron and subscriber of the channel. This is hard covered. At his expense, he sent the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's Agile Monk. I'll have to thank him when I get a chance. And I believe he's sending me Pathfinder core rules as well, but it's been taking a long time to get to me. It's been taking ages. There's been lots and lots of difficulties, unfortunately, people. But it looks like at least one of those books has arrived, which is good news. Not too bad. Pretty awesome, actually, I have to say. So let me just whip this across. Let's get back to work. See what people have been saying. Mimic abilities. We've got mimic abilities coming out our ears. What else you've got here? Brain swap creature jumps from body to body. Oh, I see. Like the intellect devourer, Richard. That's what you're saying? Like the intellect devourer. Kind of body swap. What else was there? Anti-oxygen or void area. I'm pretty sure have we got that? Tag equals spray paintable. Spray paintability. Phantom, the creature can become ethereal and reform at will. I believe we were talking about that the other day. We've definitely got something like that already. So I don't think we need to do that again. I will just shrink my head a little bit and update this. So I don't think we need to really do that again. Chore, mess up, look up. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Phantom, we've got this, we've got that. Death state. The creature can choose to die instantly and returns to life later on fully rested. Nora, we do have something that we've been working on in here somewhere. It's kind of like playing possum. Hijack powers of abilities, mimics. Okay, all right. Building on the past. Heat stealing, area effect. Okay. Height stealer. It shrinks you and grows larger by however much you took it from. So Charles, I believe we have shrink and enlarge already. So yeah. So what did you guys say before? Yeah, it's a new book. Anti-gravity field. Anti-magic field. We've got anti-magic field stuff going already. Okay. All right, so let's get back to this task. Let's see if we can just nail this one down here. What's reverse healing? What's a good name for reverse healing? Hashtag. What is a good tag name for reverse healing? Let's see if you can do that one. I'll let you work on that for now. Horse clans, brain swap, rare old books, cause hunger, yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, all right. So pungent. I think pungent is a better one to use than the noxious. Noxious odor. Yeah, so we're going to ditch this one. We're going to ditch this one because I think pungent will do the... Unless it can be something different. Okay. Yeah, so the problem is if it doesn't do something more significant, it's not going to work. Somebody had said something about multiple hearts. Anti-life. Oh, that's the one. Isn't playing possum? Yeah, I think there is one called playing possum already. Reverse healing, like undo or cause inclination to undeath. I don't think it's undeath. I think it's the creature is injured by healing magic. It's very specific. Reverse healing is it's the creature is injured by healing magic. So that's what that one is. I'm going to unhighlight this. Pungent. Noxious odor. The creature causes waves of noxious gases. Waves of noxious gas to So here we go. The creature causes waves of noxious gas. I think we're going to put here releases. Waves of noxious gas that cause unconsciousness in nearby creatures. I think that's what we'll do. Cut. Paste. Now it's a lot stronger. Does that make sense? Charge into death. Pleasing aroma. Freedom. The creature cannot be restrained, grappled, or controlled in any way. Freedom. 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 We don't have it. Freedom. Misleading aura. Hashtag influencer. What's another name for something you can't grapple or restrain or control in some way? Is there another word we can use? Detachable claws. Claws burrow into the flesh and grow and regrow in a week. We'll leave that as it is. It's a trait. It's an unusual trait. I didn't really know what to do with it, but it can stay where it is. Blood frenzy. When the creature senses blood, it becomes more aggressive. Blood frenzy. That's basically your shark, so we'll keep it. Brutal. I don't like brutal at all, but anyway. Agile. Moves quickly regardless of terrain or especially supernatural. Okay. Agile. Moves quickly and easily regardless of terrain. Regardless of terrain. I think that's what we'll call it, and that's how we'll lay it out. That's fine. Cool. And then absorb energy. The creature can absorb energy into its body, including light. Okay. And heat. Heat, I think we'll include heat as well. That's energy of some kind, isn't it? Aggressive, I didn't really feel like it was doing anything. Creatures aggressive to most creatures. It doesn't do anything, so it's not great. Okay, how are you doing? Squirmy. Misleading aura. The creature disguises and changes nearby aura areas. Freedom, no inspiration. It's known as a Bitcoin. Oh, good lord. I'm pungent after a shower. Okay. Misleading influencer. Right. Okay. All right. There's a lot going on there, people. I can see. Spider climb, crawling on vertical surface. Da. How about this? There's the spider, right? Web crawler. Web crawler. We'll call it web crawler, and so the creature can move unrestricted normally across all webbing. How's that? Does that seem a little bit better? The gecko climb. We have kind of like a gecko climb already, but we didn't have one for webs. Web climber. We've got is it wall crawler? A spider crawler or something like that. SSS. I'm pretty sure it is here. Spider crawler, web crawler. Okay. Somebody had something about the hearts, but I don't know what to do with it now. Oh, misleading aura. The aura around the... Oh, so this is what you guys have been trying to help me with, that I've been missing. Yeah, brutal creature does extra damage on prone or restrained creatures. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. The aura around the creature makes others subject to influence. Okay, we'll leave that. That's right. Okay. And we've still got a few that I haven't dealt with. Good lord. Immunity, petrification. Petrification immunity. We've got petrification. And we probably have... Don't we? No, that's a power. This is immunity, so this is always on. We'll leave it as it is. Glide. The creature can float, fly, or glide for a short distance on air currents, which is basically a different type of fly. We've got flight there already. We think we've got hover as well. So it's doing something slightly different, but not a lot different. Okay. Brutal, aggressive. I don't like these. Okay. Phenome masking, tremor sense, tremor sense. Do we have something like that? Tremor. We can't call it tremor sense though. We're not going to call it tremor sense. We're going to call it something else. I don't want to call it tremor sense. Vibration sense. What's another way of doing this? Okay, so it's just pulling up the D&D stuff. And blind sight. Okay, all right. So I would say that you're right. It's probably a missing element that we would want to include as a trait. Okay, here we go. It's got a name, Palathesius. Palathesius, or vibrationary sensation, is the ability to perceive vibration. Bingo! The sensation, often conducted through skin and bone, is used generally by macroreceptors such as Palathenian corpuscles. All right. Well, this is our tremor sense. That is it there. There we go, Norok. You've nailed us down. Another very, very complicated word that is going to be a pain in the butt to pronounce. But we have now that particular one. It is probably, oh, undo. It is probably going to cause us a lot of trouble because who is going to recognize it? Who is going to know that one? Google for the win. Ultrasonic sense. Ah, okay. How's it going, Derry? I can see you there. I can see you there. Richard, I see your ultrasonic sense as well. Camouflage. We have camouflage. I know we do. I know we have it somewhere. I'm sure of it. Okay. Okay. The creature has the ability to perceive vibration. Okay. Oh, okay. So we've got 2 more than we needed. So I can ditch something that I'm lost on. Multiple hearts, I didn't really know what to do with that anyway. So let's just can it. And inverted legs run faster. Brutal. Let's get rid of brutal. I feel like it was never a trait anyway. Aggressive, it's not going to help us. We're at 100. Okay. I'm sure we've got camouflage here. Camouflage. There you go. It's already done. To quadrupedal movement, maybe. Seismosis sense. Somebody had said ultrasonic sense. Ultrasonic. Oh my god, there is something. What is this? Ultrasonic. A sensor is an electron device that measures the distance of an object by emitting ultrasonic sound. Oh, it's echolocation. Okay, it's echolocation basically. It's sound waves. Detection by sound waves. So we've got echolocation there already. So yeah, I don't think we need to do that again. Dance rituals. Cool, blimey. Hoof stomp. Moose hooves tremor receive. Okay. Form. Warp. The creature can choose to alter the form of creatures it can see. We have got a polymorph thing already. You want to go warp as in, that's a power. Okay, so I still, yeah. Spatial shift. Warp. Alright, let's see if I can just, this very Games Workshop-y, that, so let's just see if I can find you in the chat and just port it over. Up. Warp. And copy, and over to powers. Into the W's. Warp. Paste format. Okay, warp. The creature can choose to alter the form of creatures it can see. That would be horrible. But we'll put it in. It's a power. You turn that on. That's not going to be a trait. Not a chance. But it's in. For the win. Spatial shift. The creature can teleport nearby creatures it sees to locations it can see. We kind of have teleport already, but now we're trying to teleport other things as well. That sounds like a power again, Norik. Spatial shift. So let's see if I can find it in the chat. Copy and S. We've got so many sort of teleporty like things. Spatial Species shift, temperature change, victim into another species. Okay. There's some weird ones here. Let's have a look. Spatial shift. Take it formatting. Spatial shift. The creature can teleport nearby creatures it sees to locations it can see. Okay. Spatial shift. It's basically like a misty step, but it's a group one. And now the creature can move things. You can move the enemy around very, very quickly. That is a terrifying possibility. Right, brutal. Dirt and TV, cartilage, bones. Oh, misleading aura. The creature. Oh, what's this? Misleading aura. The creature disguises and changes nearby magic auras. Oh my god. That wasn't supposed to be a trait, was it? That was supposed to, that's a power. Misleading auras. Misleading aura. I see. You want to change that. You want to change it. I see what you want to do. You want to change out misleading aura for that. Do we want to do that? The creature disguises and changes nearby magic auras. Which one makes sense? Let's have a think about that for a second. I'm just thinking. And it's not a power. I think that actually makes more sense. What you've just described, Nora, actually works better for this. So I've got to find it now in the chat here. So I've got to scroll up, don't I? Misleading auras. Somebody is trying to do the multiple hearts one. Here we go. I think that is actually a better one to use. Let's do this. The creature disguises and changes nearby magic auras. That is pretty cool. And we don't have to make that it's not really a fighting thing, so it's not affecting combat as such. So not bad, pretty good. Freedom. Geesh. Nistral, yeah, it's like Nistrals. Yeah, magic aura, exactly. Ethereal snail. Oily skin. Aggressive equals sacrifice at end of turn. No kill, no aggressive. I don't like aggressive. I know we're trying to do something with it, but I don't like aggressive as a feature. I mean, I don't like people who are aggressive at all, too, but that's not the reason. It's just I just don't think it works very well. There's only about 3 that we were sort of stuck on. Let me just have a drink of water. Norok, all of you are doing... We've got a prehensile tail already. We've got it. I know for a fact. We've got the kangaroo marsupial pouch as well, if I remember right. Oh dear. You guys are doing really good in terms of coming up with ideas. So I feel like the traits are definitely going to get done, and then we'll deal with powers either today or next week as well, more than likely. But it's getting done. It's getting there. Do we have it? No, we don't. That would be a trait. Fear. Causes fear. But let's do another one. Let's do fearless. Let's do that. Fearless. The creature can't be frightened magically or non-magically. Fearless. The creature can't be frightened magically or non-magically and doesn't flee. It's not, I mean, let's get real. That is not a really cool monster power, but it's useful. I think that, yeah, it's still useful. Just not really cool. Degraded legs, porcupine harpies. What's up? How's it going? Bible fire. How are you doing? My voice is going. That's what's going up. Yeah, the marsupial pouch made it last week, if I remember right. It took a while to get there, but we got it. Play by set. Okay, so how are we doing? Well, we can ditch one of these that don't work or we haven't been able to figure out. And this one here, this leg thing, I just don't, the inverted leg, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to take it away. Okay, so we are going to continue on our little journey here, trying to come up with, there's two more that need to be rectified. There's the aggressive, and there's the one that's sort of like healing doesn't work on it. Magic healing doesn't work on it. Those are the two that I'm stuck on. Why am I stuck on this? We've already got fear. We don't need to have that. We've got these already. That's a power. Unfortunately, I have no games coming up. Well, that's a shame. Are you? Is that a product of just the time of the year or something else going on? Porcupine harpies, quills, writing spell books until destroyed thousands of unfinished scrolls. I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Bible fire. What am I supposed to do with that? Really? Okay. Did Eats Darkness make it to make it? The dark is tasty. I think I was still. I think it was still in yellow. Eating the dark. It was because the problem is, I mean, how is that going to work in your game? That is the biggest problem. Do you know what I mean? And defining between traits and powers is another big factor. Is trying to work out how that all works. Yeah, not so easy. Eats Darkness, I don't think it disappeared. I just don't think I had figured out what to do with it. That's all it was. Dear. Lovely. So, we've got aggressive, still working on aggressive, or we just replace it with something else, or the reverse healing, which is that the creature is injured by healing magic. You gonna text play? Oh dear. We did have so many different things going on here. No. Light, dark, aurora. Like dark aurora. I don't know. What is that? What would that be? That's a... Me, DM being the monster. Creature consumes shadows and darkness to heal, leaving behind an area of light. Okay, alright, so because we're... Alright, so let's see if I can see Eats Dark. This is the powers section. that we're actually not done too badly in the power section. Eats dark. Here we go. There it is. Eats dark. Eats darkness. And you are suggesting... All right, let's just take it straight out of chat. And I might rewrite it a little bit, of course. And this is going into a power. It's something it can do. The creature consumes darkness to heal. That's bad news. Leaving behind an area of light. That is weird. But we're going to leave it in. Absorb light. I think we had something that absorbed light already under traits. Under the traits, we had something that was about absorbing. I think it was it absorb energy? Yeah, absorb energy absorbs light, heat, and other types of energy into its body. So absorb energy is doing that already. So we don't really need to worry about that anymore. Anytime I just got fired for being male, I don't understand that. Don't explain it to me. Please, don't explain it to me. I don't want to know. I'm sorry that you got fired, but yeah, don't explain it to me. I don't. It sounds like too much of a can of worms for a live stream on the internet, on my channel. That sums me up in a nutshell. Weird, but useful. Everybody ganged up on my Harpy Island. I am lost. Well, do we have anything that is around language? We got telepathy, but what if we gave it something that allowed it to speak any language? What if you had a creature that could speak any language? I mean, it would be super useful. The fact is the barrier of communication is one of the biggest problems that lead to a fight. Yeah? But what do you think about a power where your ability, you could speak to anything? Any language. What about plants and animals as well? What would it be called, though? That's another thing. I kind of like the idea because it's not combat orientated. It's not going to affect battle, but it would probably stop a battle. Okay, hang on. Let's see if I can get you to work on this. What is a good tag name for speaking all languages and to plants or animals? Pick a venue. My live stream didn't work. Straightforward. Nothing to say. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's work on this. This would be a trait, and I like it because we haven't got it yet. True speech. Hi Matt. Hello. How are you? How's it going, Matt? Matt is the guy who says thank you every single time he watches a video. Every time I know he's watched that video because there's a comment below that says thank you, Fred. Thank you, Matt. I don't get tired of it, by the way. Polylinguistic, universal linguist, Bible, psionic linguist. Now, it's gonna, yeah, and your point is well made there, Bible Fire. That you need to be able to kind of tap into them in some way. Psionic. What does psionic really mean? Related to or denoted the practical use of psionic powers, paranormal phenomena. American fiction, psionics was a proposed discipline that applied principles of engineering, specifically to the study and employment of paranormal, psychic. Related to the notion of facilities from explicitly laws of nature, especially involving telepathy, clairvoyancy. So let's do that. It's I think we've hello E.T. Oh my, I love the E.T. movie, by the way. E.T. Base, how are you doing? Visual telepathy, yeah, psionic linguist. Let's take a little bit of everything. Psionic linguist. How is that? Psionic linguist. The creature can speak to plants, animals, the creature can speak all languages, including plants and animals. Oh yeah, that's what we want. That's the one. We're going to take this little sucker here. That's a trait. And we're going to cut it. Hopefully, psionic goes into the P section. Where's my P's? There. That'll do. And we'll paste. That gets rid of one more. Getting rid of aggressive, because aggressive was always, I didn't know what to do with aggressive. It seemed, almost seems too gamey too. It was like, that was another reason why I didn't like it that much. So now we've got something that can speak any language. First edition. No, it's all right. No. Void breath. What would void breath be? The buzzing resolution into both actual sounds, smells, iconics, 65% accurate. I don't know what that means, Bible Fire. I've got no idea. Cold aura, pain aura. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about that. We need one more, since we have not been able to figure out what to call that sodding thing, whatever that's supposed to be. Have not been able to figure out what to do with this little shit. And it's driving me a little bit potty, but okay. I'm not sure. I'm really not too sure what to do with this. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to replace it with. And there's one more to do, and the whole traits table is done. And I've got 11 minutes to get it done. And nothing's jumping out at me right now, people. So yeah. How do we do this? How do we do this? On the tip of my tongue. Did we have... I think we did. I hate to think if we didn't. Invisible. Yes, we had invisible already. We already had something like no oxygen. I'm not too sure what no oxygen means. You mean it can't breathe? Oh, do you mean... I think we have something called undead. We don't have something that's called undead. Unlimited, that's there. But we don't have a trait that's undead. Undead as in undead dead, right? Let's just do that. I mean, that's probably the only trait that we don't have, that I don't think we have duplicated anywhere else, that we don't have. So let's go there. Undead. Undead. The creature is not alive. So doesn't need oxygen. There we go. Oxygen, food, or drink. Is that what we? It's like, yeah, it is a bit like a crossword puzzle. For each creature appears and behavior unsettles others. Sound, smells. So yes, so Spirit Wolf, we're going down unlife. Thank you. Unlife, undead, unlife. That's it. There we go. Let's define unlife. A state of being neither dead nor neither being alive or dead. For example, a vampire, a ghost. Unlife. Interesting. Anti-life. It's not anti-life, but Spirit Wolf, I think you're onto something there. Undead. I actually like unlife. Undead, then there's unlife. I'm just wondering how this sort of works with regards to how this will work. Will it work the way I want it to work? Okay, here we go. So what we're really doing is we're trying to do the zombie ghoul thing, aren't we? Unlife. You can't fart flowers like unlife, undead. What do people prefer? What do people like? Do you like unlife or undead? I mean, it's going to be in the same place and doesn't need oxygen, food, drink, or sleep. So really, it's just putting over the undead nature or sleep. Yeah. So yeah, let me know which one you kind of prefer, which means I can get rid of this one, which I could not figure out what to do with. I just could not, for the life of me, figure out what to call that thing. It drove me nuts a little bit, but I feel like the other replacement is probably a better one, which, if I'm right, means we finished this table. It's taken us weeks, people, to get to this point. So you finally have, patrons and anybody who's been watching, a nice big list of 100 monster traits that are always in effect. They're not turned on by an action. Speak with dogs, sniff the Shadow World, and Roll Master is where unlife comes from. Is it? Undead, unlife. Well, it's a definition. Unlife. It's actually defined in the Oxford Dictionary, so it's not like I think you can claim it. But undead, unlife. It is a different dictionary that it's coming up in, of course. But if it's in a dictionary, I don't think it's something It really comes down to whether people like the word undead or unlife. Anyway, well, I think we'll leave it as it is. I think that's good enough. I think that's anti-healing. Let's not worry about it. We've got 100. There's 100 different features here. Well, do I want to say that? Because there is that noxious, we've got pungent, and then we've got that noxious thing, which is really just a repeat of something else. Let's do it. Let's give ourselves some variation, and we will nail this little sucker down. Anti-healing. Yeah. Anti-healing. There we go. It's in. We got it. We done it. And I think at this point we have definitely got plenty of different things going on here that you can use as traits for monsters. I think it's not too bad. Equals bored. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, okay. I can stop looking at my phone now. Thankfully. I'll be happy to do that. No more looking at my phone. Looking down at the phone and trying to do this, you guys get a nice look at the top of my head as you can see everything that's going on there, and nice 4K. Anyway, he laughs like a maniacal nut. Let's see where we are with all of this. I think we are done for today. So for those of you who don't know what's happening tomorrow, tomorrow is character building. We're going to make a noble for Star Wars Saga, the role-playing game. No, I don't want to go. You don't want to go? You don't want to go. Of course you don't want to go. Anyway, I think we did a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with this. We will definitely come back and finish off the monster special powers. Now remember, monster special powers are now in alphabetical order. We have a whole lot we have to name. So there's already a whole lot of powers waiting there to name. Like there's a bucket load of them. I can't count how many there were, but there was enough that it will keep us busy for a while, just renaming some of this stuff. But there are 5 new powers, 7 new powers roughly that we need to make, because we don't have every single one of them. Maybe eight. So we're actually not doing too bad. We've actually got a lot of them already covered. So yeah, it won't be a stagnant time putting that all together. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, so good news. So, and another book has arrived, which means more book reviews are due. Pathfinder, at least, will be coming in the future. We know the other book can't be that far behind. It must be close. They've sent it separately in 2 separate packages, right? That'll be what's going on. Anyway, we're going to get out of here because I need to go and pack up the house and go to work. So I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon, and everybody who's here today watching the live stream, taking part in the polls, commenting, putting up with me trying to track everything. Okay, so thank you to Bible Fire, Spirit Wolf, Noroak. You've been awesome. Who else was there? There was Matt jumped in here. We had a few others, which I'm probably Derry. That's right, Derry was here. Richard was here and provided some ideas as well, which we did use. And Charles Butler. Charles Butler is a patron, by the way. I forgot. Sorry about that, Charles. I didn't mention that. I try really hard to sort of do that sort of thing. It's like mention that you are a patron if I can. Buried Axe was here and helped out quite a bit. So yes, there's been a lot of discussion today. Oh, 2B also was here. Yeah, so thank you everybody. If I've missed your name, I do apologize. So big thank you. So wherever you are in the world, do you know the story? Whether it's the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, which it may well be. Please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. If you have neighbours and they're not zombies, be nice to them, okay? And Till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Thanks, Charles.